In today's video, you are going to learn how to use the new input component in Framer. We are going to go through how to show toast or modal notifications after submitting the form, but we are going to also learn how to redirect people to specific pages after they submitted their email. In order to follow along with this video, all you need is a free Framer account that you can create with the link in the description. My name is Nandi, this is Framer University, and let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you guys is how you can actually get this input component. All you need to do is to press I on your keyboard. This way you will get this insert menu on the left side, and here you can type in input, and there you go, there is the component. You just drag and drop it to your canvas and you can start customizing it. As I said, this is a new input component in Framer. Previously we had the Formspark, which is also great. However, it doesn't really allow you certain functionalities. But for example, if you need to have a name field and a message field, which this component allows you to have, then you probably need to use Formspark, because the new input component only allows you to have an email field. So yeah, if you need the name and the message field, continue using the Formspark component, but otherwise I think this new input component is a better choice. Why am I saying that? It's because we have some new properties here on the right panel. So if you take a look at here, we can choose from different services. So I'm usually using Formspark, but you can choose between Loops, Formspark, MailChimp, and Get Waitlist. All of these are really great services. Basically, all you need to do is to select your desired service and just paste in your ID with that service. So as you can see in Loops, you also get an ID. In MailChimp, you get a URL, and Get Waitlist, you get an API key. So you have to paste these in so the component knows your email list and can properly get the emails for you. And so for me, the most exciting thing is right here, the success, because now you can change between open link and show overlay. Show overlay will basically open the overlay that is assigned for the input component, and the open link will basically open a link that you specify. So yeah, this will be really useful for showing toast and modal on submit. But let's go to the next property. The next property is basically the font. You can change the font of the input right here. So you can also change the size, as you can see. You can change the font, the line height, and all the good stuff. And then on the input, you can actually specify a color for the placeholder text. And then you can also change the background color, but yeah, these are really obvious things here. You can change the padding too. A new thing here is the focus, so you can specify a focus state. So for example, when I click this, you can see that we have that nice blue border around the form. So this is something that we don't have in the Formspark component. You can also specify the color here. You can also have normal border and shadow. These are all new features. And we can also change the button. We can also hide it, which I don't know why we hide it, but you can hide it. You can change the text, so you can say get notified. But you can also change the font here. So maybe you want a crazy font like Comic Sans, but we don't have Comic Sans. Don't we have Comic Sans? I have this. Yeah. Nice. So yeah, you can change a bunch of things. Again here, the fill color. So if you want a blue button, you can definitely have a blue button. You can change the width, and the docked option is a really cool thing. As you can see, if we change it to no, the input and the button are displayed separately. But if you choose yes, then the button will be inside of the input, which is I think it looks really great, so I think I'm going to use this for this tutorial. The inset is basically the padding we have here for the docked option, and yeah, we have padding, we have shadow. These are all the basic customizability options there. Let's go ahead and see how we can, for example, create this toast on submit. So for example, if I say nandi@gmail.com and I hit enter, as you can see, we have this toast right here, which we can close. And then we successfully subscribe to the newsletter. But we can also do a modal. So for example, if we do a modal, you can see that we see a modal. So let's see how we can do these. Let's go to the toast. So as you can see, we are leveraging the success show overlay property here. So as I said, we can either open a link or show an overlay. And so I choose the show overlay option, and then I add a overlay to the input field. I basically do that by, I'm gonna just duplicate this and show it to you. So I'm just selecting the input field and press this overlay option there, and then you can insert the different things you want to see on the overlay. So let's see what we have on this one. As you can see, we have the fill color, which is a black with 80% transparency. We have some nice enter and exit transitions, and then we set the z-index to a high number, so to make sure that the overlay is indeed on top of everything. And then we basically have one single element in this overlay, which is a toast. And yeah, basically that's it. You just set an appear effect. As you can see, the appear effect here is that I changed the opacity, so it's going to be 0, but I'm going to leave it on 0.5 so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to move it down here, change the opacity to 0, and then this to 85. And that's why it's going to come into view from the button, and that's why it's going to look like a toast, but it is actually using an overlay. And actually we are going to use the same technique for the modal. We're just going to have a different appear animation, and that's what's gonna define if we are seeing a toast or a modal. So if we give it again a preview, you can see that if you type in your email, then you see this toast, and then you can click the close button and the toast will be closed. You can set the close button by going into the toast and just selecting a specific element and just adding an interaction there, which will be the close overlay. And that's how you can assign the close overlay interaction to a specific element. So that's the toast on submit, but we can also do, as I said, modal on submit. So as you can see, we again have the input and we have the overlay, and we set the success to show overlay. So here we see this in the overlay. This is basically the same, like it's really similar, and the only difference is that the appear effect is different, because as you can see, we have a different enter effect here, because we changed the scale to 0.5, the opacity to 0, and then we don't do anything with the offset, we just set it to 0. So it's just gonna scale in from the middle of the page, and that's why it's gonna look like a modal. So if we give this a preview, you can see that if I type in my email, I see this really cool modal, and then I can close it. And the last one is the page. So page on submit. Here I choose the open link and I specify that page. So I just created a page here. You can see the success page. I created some cool design, and you can even redirect them to a different page, for example, your social media page, or it can be basically anything. But I just did this right here, this little success page. And if we take a look, you can see that this success page is set here. So if we give this a preview, we can see that as we type in our email and press subscribe, we are successfully redirected to the page, so we know that we are actually on the list, and then we can click the back to home page and we are back on the home page. So yeah, that's the new input component. I think it's pretty cool that we have these new options to customize the look and feel. So yeah, that was it for this video. Make sure to check out the description to find the link for the Remix link, Framer University, and other useful resources to help you learn everything about Framer. So yeah, that's it for this tutorial. Make sure to like it and subscribe for more, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.